And we are live. Hi, everyone. Welcome to officially week 2, but we had week 0 also at the beginning. But yeah.
That's how we count as true programmers.
Oh man, I was going to make that joke, Kevin.
Yeah, I loved it. Yeah, week 2. And all the amazing progress you've done. It's great to see. And yeah, I actually cannot wait to see your demos and what you have been working this past week. So just to kind of give you a little plan how today's meeting is gonna go, we will have demos and then we will have our first retrospectives. And it is going to be amazing. I love it, and I'll tell you more about when we come to that point. And finally, as always, we will discuss our coming issues. And yeah, that's where we will end our meeting today. So yeah, we can get started. And who wants to go first? It's up to you.
Nobody volunteers.
Zashi, if you're happy, we can go first.
Yeah, I'm okay. We can go first, no problem.
Okay, so I'll show my screen then.
Let's do it.
Share, and then let me. Zashi, if I'm going to give you mouse control, which Zashi do I need to give it to? Is it the one in capitals or?
I think I can like maybe tell you, like you can scroll, then I'll be catching on, like, you know, I think that's also can work.
Okay, I just thought it might be easier if you could control it with your computer. I'm happy to give you control. I just need to know which one it would be.
I haven't done it before, so.
Okay, so which one of these is your computer? One's called Zashi Ishimwe and one is just Zashi.
Okay, let's do this. I think Zashi Ishimwe, because one is my mobile phone, another is the.
Okay, let's try this. Okay, can you control my mouse now?
Yeah. I don't see any like. You send it to my phone, I guess. So can.
Okay, let me try the other one.
Yeah.
Have you got that one? Yeah, there we go.
Okay, that's nice. Yeah. So I think I can let's start from the like what we're supposed to do from our issue. So our issue was like a user want to add a new item to my shopping list so I can start recording purchase. So here is like the brief of what we should be doing or what we have done. So the shopping list item consists of the following points. So what we've done is like the name of the item, how soon are you likely to buy it again? So it means like user should have an option of selecting how soon the product will be bought again, and the last purchase date. So I think maybe these are some of our ACs, and I can maybe pass it through real quick so that we will be able to relate it with our codes, like what we're explaining what we have done in coding. So one was user presented with a form. You had to create a form and allow them to enter the name of the item and select how soon they anticipate needing to buy it again. So you should have the form. User should have a form and like have an option of like when is the product is, you know, we need to buy it again. Is it soon, kind of soon or not soon? So when user submit the form, the item should be saved to database associated with user token. That means those data should have a token like relate to it. Along with the item name, an integer corresponds to the estimated number of days until next purchase is saved. 7 for soon, 14 for kind of soon, and 30 for not soon, which means that we are not going to send to our database like soon and not soon or kind of soon, but these integers are the one to be sent to database. Like you can see soon is that means we send 7 stand for soon, and 14 kind of soon, and 30 for not soon. So last purchase should be set to no, and the last one is item should be displayed as simple. So that means we need to retrieve just the name for those items we've sent. So that's more of like our AC. So I think we can go to the other page with code and yeah. So yeah, to this code part, I'll try, me and Abby, we try to like handle like helping each other. We take one part. Starting from last time, can you start from because we started like on our part, we started by like trying to refactor because our code were kind of can I say, not that much disorganized, but we try to refactor. So we can start from navigation. Can you go to navigation? We try to put all navigation in one component, which would help us like to have our code readable. And we call this navigation in on app.js. Can you show an app? Yes. That this component we created was called in app.js below, because we found that actually most of our navigation will be at the bottom of everything. So you can see that after the these show list and create item component below, that's where we call our navigation component. Yeah, so that's like help us to kind of have app.js organized and easily to read and understand. You can also go to Firebase because we also make a little change because from the last time, what you had, we were like exporting the Firebase, but for us, what we did, we just tried to create the DB variable that could hold Firebase.firestore, so that all method will attach to our DB variable, like it will be shortened and look kind of readable and clean. So luckily, like it look nice, and the DB is the one which will be attaching our collection method document thing. So this is what also we changed a bit from the last time. Yeah. So I think we can now start from here. Maybe yeah, like with my teammates, if she can go on, I help her, like, I don't want to take the whole,
Yeah, sure. So obviously after we refactored some of the code, because obviously Sashi had done some research and thought of some maybe better ways we could organize it, we started working on the problem, and we started by breaking it down into what we needed to do, which I thought was a really great way of working. And we kind of decided first to start with the UI and then to program the logic in afterwards. So we made the form. Obviously, the wireframe provided in the ticket had some accessibility notes. So we made sure we include those in the HTML4 on the labels, and also making sure that the radio buttons would be grouped under a field set. We did come across some problems getting one of the radio buttons to be checked using a standard HTML form, because React essentially kept resetting it back. So we eventually used this method to check one of the items where the input is checking against the React state and seeing if it matches the value of this input. So the value is the frequency set to 7 to start with, which means that this one will automatically be checked. So that was how we handled that. And then we programmed in the logic. So we've got the handle submit form here. This was something that when we first started it, we did program it like this with the token included in the item information. So we've got all of the things that are included in the ticket for the ACs that we had to program into the item data, the name, the frequency, the last purchase date, which is set to null to start with, a date, and then obviously the token, which we're getting from local storage here. We had a little bit of back and forth about this because obviously when we first programmed it, we weren't filtering our show list to just the user token, whereas actually, so with our show list, we actually managed to figure out how to get it down to just the item name pretty fast. Did you want to talk about that at all, Zashi? How we implemented that?
Sure. Yeah. So from the AC, as you remember, the statement was about just to retrieve the name of the product, not like there's a lot around the product, there's the frequencies, there's whatever, but all we need was just to like retrieve the name. So we can see that from the values which were like initial state, like in the user collection method, which were important from React hooks, which would help us like to pull all the documents, and down here in the list, that's where we were looping, and from the looping we should be able to loop and get each document dot its name. Like in the document we just get the name of the product because that's what we want for the users to see, or for the React to render in the UI or in the like physical, like yeah. So that's what we did, just so that we could only retrieve the name. Yeah. So
yeah, and I think the issue that we hit upon was after the office hours on the Friday, obviously we all looked at the codes and we had this code that's showing the name of the items, but it was showing a list of all of the items rather than just those specific to a certain user. So I'm just going to show the app now, just so I can do a user demo, but also talk through maybe that particular problem and how we solved it. So you can see now in list view, it's not showing all of the items specific to a certain user. The user can go to the add form, they can add any item that they want. They can choose a frequency and add the item, and it will then display in the list, and it will only show their items on their shopping list, which is what we want for the customer to be able to use the app the way that they want to. But when we first submitted our pull request, it wasn't showing like this. It was showing every single item in the database. And the solution that we eventually used in the code was to use this query, this where query in the use collection. So I wasn't really aware that you could embed the queries into the hook arguments, and I just thought that was a really simple and elegant way of doing it. So here it's looking for where the token on the item that it's got from the collection is equal to the token variable here, which is the token value gotten from the local storage. And so the only items that are going to be loaded into the value state by use collection are the ones where the token matches. So it was like a really simple, elegant solution that resulted in this.
Yeah, like if I can add something, it's more like we're just like, because we need every data to have a token related to those like data, and once we are retrieving, we don't want like everything from the database, but we want something which match with our token we have locally in our machine. So once they matches, we'll be able to retrieve those names of the user who has that token already have. So that's what we already did, which was amazing.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, are there any Did you want to add anything else about anything, any highlights or anything you found difficult, Zashi?
I think we said most of all of it. So
Yeah.
from our ACs, as we have seen, we have the form, and can you show like the front, like the user form again?
Oh yeah, sure. So the create item, the code or the
I mean,
actual form?
in browser.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah, okay. So
There we
it's more
go.
like summarizing. So as we were saying, like we can retrieve, we can like have a form present to the user, and the user can choose like, is it soon, kind of soon or not soon, is going to buy next that product. And you have seen that we can also be able to like send the data with its corresponding token, like user with his token can will be able to store it in the database, and once retrieving it, we're retrieving corresponding to their token that is created. So that's most of like, and the item displaying is just simple annotated list, like as I was asking. So that's more much of like what we've done. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Cool. Any questions from anyone?
Yeah, I just want to say, first of all, really, really great demos. I liked how you like naturally communicated the whole during this time, kind of jumping back and forth inside the code base and then in the browser, and like having this demo as a communication. It's very organic and I loved it. Also, yeah, like I love that you share like what was your like what was more difficulties, and also the fact that you like or the issue, a specific problem that you encountered during the implementation. But yeah, I mean, so like for your team, you had to create like a test token, right? It was not, it was Claire's and Nadine's issue creating the actual.
Yeah, exactly. So I think while we were coding, we just put a line of like a set token line in our code just so that it was setting the token. But then for testing, we gave the instructions to go into your local storage and make a tester token. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. Great job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Does anyone have any questions, mentors or other developers? Yeah, we can then move forward with the other demo.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you all. Great work.
Okay, so I will share my screen. Okay, so this past week, me and Claire have been working on this issue. Let's jump into the acceptance criteria. So basically, we want to create a button that a user can click it and create a new list from there. And then that button will generate a token, and then we save it to the local storage. And then once the token has been generated from the button, we redirect the user to the list view. And we also need to prevent the user, if they already have a token, to not be able to access the homepage again, because that would be our actual problem when we work for it. So yeah, I think that's all, and we can jump straight to the tab. As you can see here, it's very simple right now. It's just one button. It says create a new list, and as you can see here in the dev tool, we can watch how the token is generated. So if we click this, as you can see, a token is generated. with 3 random strings that we produced. And then because the token is already present, if we go back to home screen, it will redirect to the list view again. And then we can also add view as Abby and Zashi already presented. And then, yeah, that's all. So now the code. We create a new function on the home component directly. As you can see here, we have a new function that is called generate token, and we save it as a variable, and we call the get token that is already prepared in advance in our lib folder. And then we have this to store in our local storage, and then call it token. Simple and clear. And then we also use the React hooks for saving the history, no, the state. And then we call it here to redirect to the list view page. And then we also create a button for it, of course, and then call our generate token function. And that's basically it for me. And for the next part, Claire will present more about the problems that we had. So yes, on to you, Claire.
Thank you, Nadinda. I don't know if you want to
Oh yes,
give me
I need
access or
to
something,
give
or
you. Can you control it now?
lovely. Thank you.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. So we were doing quite well the past couple of days. So we started on Monday. We coded, Nadinda and I. Yeah, it was going really well, and we thought on Thursday that we were sort of done. So the functionality that we managed to code in was, let me see. So that works. Yeah. So like Nadinda said, very simple. You see your create a new list button. So we had all that. And then on the Friday, when we had office hours, Chamaka found out that if you created a new list, so you had your token right here. If you then remove the token again, you see, if you then remove the token, this would still appear. So you would remove, for example, you would update the URL, remove this. But this, what you see now, this didn't happen. You would still see list view. And if you clicked on add view, you would still see the add view screen. And of course, that wasn't what was supposed to happen because you were on the home page and you didn't have a token. So we had to go back to the code. We did that on Saturday mostly. So it was quite a bit of doing, took a bit of time. But what we ended up changing, let's see. So what we ended up changing was, first of all, the root. So the home component was moved from down here to the very start. And we also added the sort of the exact path rather than just path. And that, I think that was the issue. So Shamaka really helped us with that. I think when she added exact, everything started working. So that was, yeah, that was really great. And also what we did, so in the beginning of the week, we placed, let me see. yes, we had the navigation component also in our app.js, but we ended up changing that to just having the navigation down here in show list and then also in create item, so that when you're on the front end side, you don't see the two links of list and add item. So those are some of the things that we did, and it looks like it's all working properly. I can show you again. So you've got your list view, and even if you were to remove this, you should still go back to list view, even if this is technically the home URL. So yeah, you do go back to the list view. So that's all working. I think what we've learned, or at least what I've learned, was that there is such a thing as local storage, which I wasn't aware of, but that was, yeah, really interesting. Things like, token, which I also found quite fascinating. And there was a lot of, I got a lot of feedback from the team earlier in the week explaining how that worked. So I was really grateful for that as well. Yeah, so that's my contribution to the to everything.
Yeah, this is amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Claire and Nadine. Yeah, really amazing job. I saw early in the week that you were trying to kind of guard the routes to not show when the token doesn't exist. And yeah, I love your implementation. Like I've been part of like 2 other teams before, or 3, and it's amazing to see like how everybody implements this functionality in a different way. And yours was also like very very clever and creative, so I liked it.
Thank you.
So you use ternary to kind of like if the
Makes it
token,
conditional rendering, yes.
yeah, that's great. Does anybody have any questions?
Can I ask something?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So I think this I like the way like they implement it. So amazing. I was also new to token thing. Actually, Abby helped me a lot, and I've learned like token logic, and I managed to understand. So what my question is about this ternary operator logic, because according to what I see, maybe in the app.js, it was like once there is a token, the user should be taken to list view page. And if there is no token, it should be to home page. And from what I seen, she deleted the token and she didn't go back to home page. Was it because she didn't like rerun the browser so that you go to home page, or there's something I'm missing? Thank you.
Nadine or Claire, do you
Yeah.
want to answer?
So as far as I know, local storage will be kept as long as it doesn't get told to be cleared on the code. So if you close the browser, it will still be there. So that works, I think. But I'm not sure. Maybe the mentors have better answers.
Zachi, the reason why it didn't go back to the homepage is actually because she didn't refresh the browser. Yeah, so she just deleted it and she was still demonstrating. So had it been she refreshed, because there is no tokens in the local storage, it should have refreshed, referred him back to the homepage. That's how they
Oh,
could.
okay. Yeah, I get it now. Thank you.
Yeah, so and just to add on that, like we actually do not need to go back to home page because we already created token, and then the only purpose for the home page is to actually like get started and create the token. That's the only purpose of the home page. But if we already have the token in browser, then we do not really need to like display the homepage anymore, unless of course like we delete the token and if we want to create a whole new shopping list. But yeah, that's a great question.
I have a question though. On our issues, it says like the storing the token to the Firebase is optional, and I thought that Abby and Zashi might have implemented that by not by design. I don't know, by accident or not, or I don't know. I think it's already implemented by Abby. Is that correct, or I didn't understand it correctly?
Part of our AC said that we had to associate the user token with the item data that was added.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I wanted, because you already documents add and then there is token there, and so that means it's already saved on Firebase. Is that correct?
I
Yeah,
mean, yeah.
I can add on that. Like we have that, like we are saving the token in the database because among the data we are sending, because we were figuring out how we should like create a relationship between the data that are being sent to database and the token of the user. So the way we managed to do was to send the data with their token, but once we are retrieving the data back, we are just comparing like be like this data being pulled, is it has it a similar token to the browser's token, like the token have locally, is it the same as what we are pulling in from the database? So that means the token is already in the database and help us to compare it so that we can retrieve the right data. Yeah.
Yeah, in which case, I think it's already implemented. That's really cool. So, thank you.
All right. Yeah, it's past like 40 minutes already, so let's move on to our retrospectives. So to give you like another brief overview, retrospectives are like one of my favorite parts at the Collab Lab, where like we sit down and celebrate our wins and what we have done, and we appreciate, we kind of like shout out to each other. Also, we say what went well and then what could be improved. Also, please remember that this is a safe space, so be transparent, honest, and kind. And this way, this is how we as a team grow, and this is how we improve our work. So we can jump on the project board and fill out the cards. Let's take maybe 7 to 10 minutes to do that. And then after 7 to 10 minutes, we can come back and read our cards individually and say our thoughts during the time. So now it's like 40 exactly on my end. Let's come back at 47 or 50 around that time. Meanwhile, feel free if you want to turn off your camera, turn off your mic, as you wish. But yeah, let's come back in 7 to 10 minutes. Oh, I'll share the link just in case you want to jump on there quickly. Hey, yo, let's come back maybe in 2-3 minutes. One-minute reminder. All right, are you all done? Okay, Sashi and Chamaka, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Cool. Chamaka?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Hi, Luca.
Okay, yeah, let's get started then. I will share my screen, and as we move down to the cards, like you can like kind of we can go by order, and you can say your things, and then we can move to the next person. Can everyone can see my screen?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so we have Sashi first. Sashi, you wanna get started?
Sure. So it's actually my appreciation to like mentors about how every time like we need the help, they dig in so quick to make things work and get done. So it's really amazing, and much thanks to all of you guys. You're super cool.
Thank you, Sashi. Abby, is that you? Sorry,
It is
I
me.
forgot the username. Yeah.
Yeah, no, sorry. But like,
No worries.
again, should have been my name, but it's too late to change it now.
No worries.
So
I'll remember
I
from
put this
this moment.
one. Okay, I put this one on because my one further down is literally just about week 2, really. But I wanted to say thank you to Nadinda for an amazing introduction to pair programming. I was really nervous going in, and she just made it so easy, and her previous knowledge on it was so useful. So thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Abby. Nadinda?
Yeah, so I really enjoyed pair programming with Abby and Claire. It's like amazing. I don't know, it's like everyone here is super kind and everything. I'm a bit amazed. And yeah, I'm looking forward to pair with Sashi next week. And yeah, also thanks to the mentors. Once again, you are all super responsive, kind, and supportive. This is probably the most supportive community I've ever had. So thank you for that.
Thank you so much, Nadinda. Yeah, so yeah, I want to shout out to the whole team for making like really, really amazing progress during this past 2 weeks. And it's very impressive for me to see like how fast you adopted to the program and that you took the project so far in just 2 weeks, you know, and shout out to that. I really appreciate that kind of dedication from you. Just want to mention also that your teamwork is very special and powerful. I think you are all like very helpful to each other, like you always communicate really well between each other to coordinate about different things. Also, big shout out to mentors, because Bella, Chiamaka, and Kevin, you are all super, super, super responsive, dedicated, helpful, and it means a lot to us, to everyone. So thank you so much for that. And finally, thanks to everyone for communicating over Slack and being very noisy and asking questions about anything. And that's a super, super important aspect of our work, to communicate and be loud on Slack. So amazing. Shout out to that. Next, we have Kevin.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, I'm not super familiar with like Firebase or React or any of that stuff, but you guys ask incredible questions that force me to dive in and like really figure out a really good way to try to explain some of these things. So thank you for asking questions, and please keep doing that. In fact, I would challenge you, ask more questions and make me spend all of my time digging up this stuff to answer you. Please do that. That'd be great.
Awesome. Thanks, Kevin. Chiamaka?
Okay, I'd say shout out to the developers and the mentors too. Working with all of you has been super smooth. Everyone is responsive. Everyone is eager to learn and jump in and help each other out. And it's really making the project really easy, and we are moving smoothly, and the devs are working really hard and are ready to learn and know about new things. So it's really nice working with all of you, and it's so smooth. I'm so happy about it. Thank you.
I totally agree with you, Chiamaka. It's going very smooth and it's progressing really well. Thank you. Claire?
It was really fun to pair code with Nadinda. So yeah, like I said already, she was really helpful, and also what has also already been mentioned is there was so much. Everybody was really responsive. So if you asked a question, you got an answer back in a matter of minutes in some cases. So that was really, really good, especially for myself. I'm not super knowledgeable in terms of React, so it's really nice to know that if you do need help, there's help available. So yeah, I was really happy that everybody was super helpful.
Yeah, I think you're really good at React, Claire.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much.
And lastly, Eddie, another card from Eddie.
Yeah, so I wanted to say how good it was to pair with Zashi. So we worked through some problems, and I feel like we worked through them so much quicker than we would have done if we were on our own, because we both took our individual knowledge bases and then combined them into like one super powered developer. So I just wanted to say a big thank you to Zashi for us making a great team together. And then also a massive thank you to Chiamaka and Luca for helping with Firebase. I did get quite stuck and it was really difficult, but you both dedicated so much time to helping us out. So we were able to find a really good solution. So thank you so much for that.
Yeah, I agree. That's the power of pair programming. Like when you combine this like knowledge of two people, you can like go really, really far. And in terms of our help, we are here to do that. So yes, please ask as much as you can. Thanks, AB. And let's move to what went well. And first up, we have Claire.
Yeah, so we did code up a part, big part of the project relatively early in the week. I think we finished by Thursday. So that was really good in terms of when we did hit the wall. It wasn't like, oh, we found out on Sunday morning that there was some issue and we couldn't resolve it. So I think that was really good, I think. So just finishing fairly early in the week, and then we had some time to work with these unexpected problems. And there's more. There's of course more that went well, but this is off the top of my head what I could come up with.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Claire. Nadinda?
Yeah, that's true though. Like there's so much that went well, but I think the main thing about what's really good about us is how easy it is to reach out to everyone, not just mentors, it's like other team members as well. And we can like resolve issues quickly enough because everyone is so responsive. So thank you.
Perfect. Thanks, Nadinda. Kevin?
Yeah, it's your guys' conversations, whether it's in the actual PR or in Slack or in the threads, you guys are keeping in touch with each other, helping each other out, and that's really awesome. Obviously, I already hit on the questions thing. Keep ask them to each other. I love seeing you guys answer each other's questions. It's really, really great to see that. Yeah, keep doing that. That's what I want to hit that whole like communication and questions. Really great.
It's a great suggestion, Kevin. I will thumbs up on that as well. Yeah, thank you. Chiamaka?
What went well, the issues were implemented, the ACs were met, and even though they had to go back and do some stuff towards the end of the week, but they were able to still do that and implement it, and now the app is working perfectly well, and every thing that they were supposed to do are all done. And then the office hours went well as planned, and so far things have been going as planned, and we've not encountered any major unsolvable issue, and that's nice.
Awesome. Thanks, Chiamaka. Yeah, I want to double on Kevin's what Kevin said about communication. I think it was really amazing to see so many communications on Slack and asking a lot of questions. The pull requests also have been amazing. But yeah, just seeing like more conversation in the pull request, just asking questions over there, that would be also amazing. So in terms of like PRs, they are always open early in the week by Wednesday, which is amazing because it gives us enough time to give you some feedback, then kind of go back and do some implementation or like refactoring. That's really, really amazing. Also, pull request descriptions are very, very helpful, especially I saw that the testing criteria were very detailed, and it helped me a lot to jump on to your code and kind of I knew where to start, what to test, where to add token and so on, so that was really, really important and helpful. You are very kind and resilient to each other. I know that you had some blocks by Thursday, but you stayed resilient, you stayed kind to each other, and you finally managed to resolve that issue. So great work on that. Finally, I mentioned this a couple of times, but I would like to say it again. Your demos are amazing. This is something that's new to you all, but I think you are doing really, really, really great job on that. And like, feel free to use this on your portfolios, because it will be very impressive to job like for the companies who want to hire you. So great work on that as well. Yeah, AB, you want to go next?
Yeah, so obviously the parent sessions have all been great. So it's a new thing to me that I've done for the first time with the Collab Lab project. So that's been amazing with both Nadinda and Zashi. And breaking down the problems together has made it so much easier. And I feel like I've just learned so much from them. Office hours is super useful. So especially in week 2, we got the chance to talk through a lot of things, and it was really handy to have that like face-to-face communication over Zoom and talk things through in an organic way prior to today, so that we could sort things out. And again, I think everyone's talked about this, but I loved all the communication in the Slack chat. I think that we're getting better at coordinating as pairs, so thinking about what the other pair is doing in their code and how it's going to affect us when we merge to the main branch. And if we're like this good at it now, then we're only going to get better. So yay, yay team.
That's awesome. Thanks, AB. And lastly, we have Kevin here.
Yeah, I threw this one on there last minute because I noticed that I like to go and review things commit by commit, and I was starting to see you guys are very like, you have very focused commits, and those are really, really nice. I can see how you went from like how you thought about the problem and solving it each commit at a time. So yeah, the idea is you can almost read them like a book, and so that is always a good thing. So if you can keep doing that, everyone will love you for it, future developers and everything.
Awesome. Thank you, Kevin.
And if I could just, I'm sorry, if I could just add something to
Sure.
the what went well. I have to say that you already mentioned it, but Abby and Sashi put in the sort of, it was almost like, you know, the user, how do you say that in English? Sort of, you know, almost like a recipe of how to use their part of the code. That was incredible, because if it wasn't so, you know, step by step, I don't think I would have been able to, you know, use it. But it was, yeah, I didn't mention it earlier in the week. I thought I was going to write you to say, this is so amazing, but I didn't. But yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's right. I would have hit that one home too. The testing steps were really,
Yeah,
really
it was
good.
really good.
yeah, super detailed descriptions, and I loved it too. Awesome. Yeah, let's move forward with what kept us from making progress and what could we do better in the coming weeks. So first up, we have Nadinda.
I think I got it backwards, so I made a suggestion first. So I think for me, I feel like we opened a PR early in the week, but then we kind of like forgot to review the other PR, and then like it got longer than expected, perhaps. And so maybe we can just, because I think Kevin just made the review even though we haven't asked for it. So yeah, so maybe that will work better. So it's just peer review and mentor review is at the same time, or will that be possible, or is it too overwhelming? So yeah, I think that's all from me.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. Like in general, the idea is to kind of do the peer review first to learn about each other's code and also make some suggestions and ask for questions. And like I would think peer review is like a kind of a draft PR to prepare for the real. I mean, you are doing a real review, but you are like refining all your work for mentors then to kind of also give you like an extra suggestion. So we are kind of leaving some space for developers also to be like mentors for each other, right? Like to be independent by making your own suggestions for each pair. So that gives a great kind of opportunity for you to also like be as a kind of a mentor to each other, like a team, like a real teammates, you know. But it's a good idea. We can definitely discuss it if it's better to do it simultaneously at the same time.
Yeah, I can add on this, like what she said. I think also I found it kind of challenging because you are kind of working on your issue and your colleague also working on their issues, and they want your review, and they're like, oh my god, I have to finish my issue and go check what they have done, and it's kind of a lot of work, and then it's kind of take a long time to be able to say like I'm giving my review, because you also have to take time and see what they have done and say something on it. And now it's now be like the mentors will have short time of like, you know, coming on your PR and give you feedback because you've been waiting for your payers to just give you a review on your task. So I think if possible, you can just make it like it's not limited to only like your colleague can review it, but also your mentor doesn't limit them to come in and yeah, before you approve it as yeah, that's what I can say.
Yeah, sure.
I for what it's worth, I've just been setting a reminder every Friday, and when I wake up, that's kind of like I just do code review for you guys. But if it would help, and this is something that we have to do internally, you'll probably experience in teams in the future, you have to go bug people to review it. And so if you're not getting the reviews that you need, just reach out and say, hey, this is ready for review. Could somebody take a look at this? And then, you know, we definitely want to give you guys room to review each other's code. It's a really important part of this and the experience of it, because I think you're going to find that your job is going to be more reading code and reviewing other people's code than it is just writing code. And so getting that experience is really important. But certainly if you guys are like, you finish, you get a review from the other team, reach out to one of us and say, hey, we're ready for a mentor review. It doesn't have to wait until Friday.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. It's like you can set a goal to do like a peer review by Thursday maybe, and then like maybe ping the other pair by Wednesday that, okay, so we are ready actually for your review, and then finish that peer review by Thursday or like by before Friday, and then you can ask mentors to jump in and do another code review. But yeah, great suggestions over there. Every team works differently, but yeah, let's try. But we can try different ways if that helps. Next up, we have Sashi.
Yeah, it's a kind of like it's an issue I faced this last week, like this week. In the end of the week, like there was some electricity issues, so I have actually like give back some comment to Nadindas and Claire, but I couldn't go back and check what they have done so that I could approve. So it took like almost 2 days, and it didn't look good because I had that challenge of electricity, so I couldn't access like the code base. And I was lucky because for me and Abby, we have done everything in area like in the beginning of the week, so like it wasn't that big challenge. But I think next time it won't happen because now things are being solved.
Thank you, Zashi. Chiamaka?
I'd
Sorry,
say, you know, a lot of that is outside of your control, and so don't feel like you need to apologize for that or anything. It's totally okay. Things like that happen. And so you know, we got through it. We're totally fine. I mean, if it happens again, that's how it is. If you have a way to communicate in and say, hey, I can't, you know, I'm going to be out for 2 days or so, you know, we can work around that. It's not a big deal. So yeah, that doesn't seem like it's something within your control, so it's totally okay.
I agree. Yeah. Chiamaka, you wanna go?
Yeah. What kept us from making progress and what could do better next sprint? Okay, so I think the office hours, it will really help if we have them like at the middle of the week, Wednesday or Thursday, so that if we have any unblocking to do as regards the issues and the project, the developers, if they need any feedback and we give the feedback, they will have the time to implement it. Because this past week, we had our office hour on Friday, and by then they had already created pull requests like 2 days or even a day before the office hour. And then when I was reviewing it, I found out that some of the ACs were not complete. And then when we talked about it, they now had to implement it. And then that was why they merged today. So had it been we had the office hour like on Wednesday or Thursday, we would have seen it earlier and then to have given them more time. So I think the office hour will really be helpful if it's held at the middle of the week, so that just to check in and know how the project is going with them. Thank you.
That's a great suggestion, Chiamaka. Thank you. Next up, we have Abby.
Yeah, so mine kind of follows on from what Chiamaka was saying. I completely agree. So me and Zashi, we misunderstood one of the ACs and we didn't realize that until the office hours on Friday. I don't know if maybe it could be written in a slightly clearer way, because I don't think it explicitly states that the items shown need to be linked to the user's token. So I don't know if that could be rewritten for the future at all, but yeah, we didn't realize that we hadn't completed this until we spoke about it on the Friday. And it didn't give us as much time to work on the solution together. So again, I want to say to Zashi that the electricity issue, it honestly wasn't a problem. I know that it would have been nice to work on that issue together more, but it wasn't a big deal. And like you say, we did most of our code earlier on in the week, so we were able to work around it. But yeah, I think maybe an earlier office hours would solve that. And then just from a personal point of view, I wish that I would have had more time to review code this week. It just all kind of didn't time up well. So I didn't actually get a notification to review Nadinda and Claire's pull request until like 4:30 on Thursday, I think. I don't know if it was up before then, but that was when GitHub sent me the email saying it was up. And when I checked earlier, it wasn't there. So I don't work all day Thursday, but then by 4:30, I was busy, and then I was at work on Friday, and so it all just kind of like snowballed. So yeah, I think some of these things will maybe just, I know that this is a bit vague, but I think some of them will get better just as we go and we kind of get more in sync with each other as well, and better at communicating and bugging each other for reviews and stuff like that. So yeah.
Thanks, Abby. Yeah, I agree. Like you cannot imagine how well you progressed. Like this is already 2 weeks and we are doing so much, and we kind of like manage everything super well. And this like little communication things will like settle down as we move forward. So yeah, it's all gonna be well. And lastly, yeah, I wanted to mention I was in the US for the past 2 weeks, and I was in a different time zone, so I couldn't be as quickly responsive as I wanted. But now I'm back in Europe, and it's gonna be faster for sure. Also, I wanted to mention that which has been mentioned, mostly You have mostly done great work on implementing code reviews, feedback, and merging your branches to the main. But like I was wondering if we could set a goal to merge our branches maybe late Saturday or Sunday, because as we move forward, there will be like more complex issues, and we might have like bigger merging conflicts. So if we allow like a little bit more time for the merge conflict resolution, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be like we will be more prepared to resolve those merge conflicts if we do it earlier. So just wanted to quickly mention that. But in general, like really amazing job, I must say. Yeah, I think this is it. Yeah, we we are kind of past 20 minutes in here, but thank you so much everyone for like staying on a call. We still need to discuss issues, but I want to respect your time, and if you think you want to leave, or if you need to leave right now, please feel free to do it. And we can discuss these issues over Slack, or we can set another meeting. But if not, if everybody can stay here, we can jump on those issues and kind of go through it real quick. What do you think?
I can stay.
Can you all stay?
Yeah, let's stay.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I will. Yeah, Chiamaka, over to you then.
All right. Thank
Yeah,
you.
I'll stop sharing.
Okay. Can you see my screen now?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So we are moving over to issue 5 and 6. So issue 5 says, as a user, I want to join an existing shopping list so I can share a shopping list with another person. So as a way of description, it says the token can be shared with other users to allow them to co-manage a given list. Joining an existing list consists of the following. The user enters an existing token, the token is saved to local storage, and then the user is shown the existing list that is attached to that token. So the ACs for this issue to be accepted is when the user does not already have a token stored in the local storage. On the home screen, a simple form is displayed that allows the user to enter a token. Entering the token and hitting submit saves the token to local storage, effectively giving them joint control to the list. Then on submit, show an error if the token does not exist. Then if they get an error message, allow them to try again to create a new list. That's on the homepage. Then notes, as of this story, welcome home. The welcome screen will be feature complete as reflected in the wireframe. So this is the wireframe. It means that once you implement this issue 5, it means we are done with the home screen as regards the features. So this is this second part from join an existing list. This is what is expected to be done this week as regards the issue 5, the down part of this wireframe, where you a user is able to put in a token to join an existing list. Okay, so the second note, for accessibility reasons, use a label tag for the share token field. Yeah, then you can assume that users will only be sharing a token if the list has actual items on it. So let's say I create a new shopping list, but never add any items to it and haven't saved that particular token to Firestore. We can assume that that's a list that does not exist. Then if you like, you can save the token to Firestore immediately when creating a list, and then a user would be able to share an empty list. So what it's trying to say is, when you're creating the token, you don't save it to Firestore directly. I think you just store it in local storage, and then when a user creates an item, you retrieve the token in the local storage and then send it to Firestore. but it's trying to say that if that is the case, if you're not storing the token already when it's created, then you can assume that any token that is not in the Firestore does not exist, because of course there is no item attached to it. But if you want a situation whereby once you create the token, you save it to local storage and then send it to Firestore already, whether the user has created an item or not. So that way it's already in Firestore and it can be shared with another user. So whether there is anything, whether it's empty or not. So it's kind of throwing up the two options to you for you to choose one. If you want to share the token and save it to Firestore, or if you want to assume that once it's not saved in the Firestore, it does not exist. Anyone, you can actually choose one. But for this list, for this issue, a user is able to share their token with another user, and that user can use it to co-manage or even add items to the existing list. So that's it for issue 5.
Also, I quickly wanted to mention, please feel free to maybe implement like some kind of mobile first design, not like a huge styling thing, but maybe just to organize your form and the buttons for the like mobile first application. That would be cool. I'm not saying like we should like do the whole design process with the like styling and colors and everything. Just make like a simple mobile first look for the application. If you want, that would be great as well.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have any questions about issue 5? Yeah. Okay. So we are always on Slack in case if any question comes up later, you can always ask. So the second one says, the issue C says, as a user, I want to be alerted when I'm entering an item that is the same as something already on my list, so I can avoid duplicate items. So the ACs is show an error message if the user tries to submit a new item that has the exact same name as the existing item. The second one says show an error message if the user tries to submit a new item that has the same name as an existing item where the capitalization has been normalized and punctuations has been removed. So what this one is talking about is, like, let me take for example, a user has orange originally entered in Firestore, and then second time they come back again to come and write orange. So this time around they're using small case, and this other one they're using capital case, and the orange, the capital letter has already been saved. So you should show an error message even when they try to enter the same item but with a different case. So you should notify them that it's already existing, or when they probably put something like orange full stop or orange comma, because there is a punctuation there, but it's still the same item. So there shouldn't be orange capital letter, orange small letter, and orange probably full stop or orange comma. Yeah, so that's what the second one is saying. So you should remove every space, every punctuation, and then change everything to the same the same case before checking the database if the item is already there. So the third AC says the user's original input should be what gets saved to the database. It means what they put first is what you will save. So the subsequent ones is what you will now check against what is already saved in the database. So that's it for this one. Do you have any questions? Is it straightforward?
I wonder about plural words, or if you were to write oranges or something, should we check for that as well, or?
So I think they are. Luca, do you want to help us?
No, go ahead. Oh yeah, I can. Yeah, you can definitely, like, it's not required here in the AC, because I mean, maybe you want to have like Apple, or maybe you want to have apples.
Mhm.
But you can definitely implement that solution as well. Maybe like if somebody adds like orange or oranges, just check on them, and if but it's very hard to yeah, I don't know actually.
I think I just want to be the person who says English is weird. So checking for plurals is actually like harder than it sounds it's gonna be.
Yeah,
Exactly.
okay.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking in the last
Yeah.
moment, because yes, some words, they are just like it's a like completely like different ending, you know, maybe
Mm.
yeah, it's very hard to implement that solution, but if you come up with something, yeah, please let me know. Like, I would love
I
to learn
shall
it.
let you know. I shall let
Yeah.
you know.
That's a great question though. It's
Yeah. Okay. So for this week we have Claire and Abby, and then Nadinda and Zachi. So do you have any preferences, or I should go random?
I think they both look interesting. So Claire,
Yeah,
do you have any
exactly.
preferences?
Well, I agree with you. They look really interesting, both of them. But I was thinking I like 5 a lot, to be honest. I don't know what you
Alright.
think, but I mean, I
So-
like the other one as well. But
All right. So 5. Yeah.
Chiamaka got the usernames. There we go. Perfect.
All right. Okay. Yeah, that's it. If once you start working on it and you don't understand any AC, you can always ask on Slack, and then we'll go through it together. That's okay.
Yeah.
All right, Luca,
All
over to
right.
you.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you so much, everyone. We are like 30 minutes past, but thanks for sticking around. I love retrospectives. Like, we can chat about this over Slack if you want, but yeah, great job. I really loved your demos today, and we are on a like really good progress in here. So amazing, and thank you all. We'll see you on Slack until Sunday.
Bye.
Just really quick, office hours. I have them this week, so I'll be putting a link in the Slack, and try to get what your preference is by, I guess, Monday, late Monday at least, or by the end of Monday, and then that way I can send out the invites on Tuesday, and then we can have it all scheduled. So,
All
great
right.
job, everybody.
Good job.
Thank you, everyone.
Good job all.
Bye.
See you soon. Bye.
bye.
Bye.